Yep, he is.
James will be back, I'm assuming. I don't know what his time frame is, but he will be back.
Okay, I'll remind Walter.
Okay.
Okay. Any other additions or corrections? We got Alan's name right today?
Looks like it, finally.
Okay, good. All right, so
Been a
let's have a
couple
motion to
years.
accept the minutes as amended.
So moved.
Any further discussion? If not, say all in favor of adopting the minutes of Monday, May 4th, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. Warrants. I signed the warrants yesterday. There was nothing out of the ordinary except I did question Kim this morning because there were two bills from what is it, Dominion, Kim, or whatever it is?
Yeah.
Yeah. And my question to Kim was, we pay $300 or $200 some odd dollars every month. Why are we getting an additional bill? Isn't that included in our service charge? And Kim indicated that they had to do some, you can explain it anyway, Kim, they had to do some modification to the Merrill's computer or something.
Right. We had to install Splashtop, which is a remote in for the listers to be able to remote in and work from home. So that was an additional service along with the program itself for the year.
And then when I was going through I came across a bill and I gulped and I looked at it 3 times, $6,000 plus for tires. So we did pay it. Anyway, they were fine. Highway report?
Question.
Go ahead.
Is that that expense for the listers, is that a reimbursable expense under the Corona thing?
I guess it can be, but we have to have a certain dollar amount, and I don't even think we're going to hit it.
$3,300.
Yeah, we're not going to hit it.
Yeah. All right.
Well, could we just keep track of it? Like Alan is right. Maybe there'll be other ones coming in.
Yeah, we've been keeping track.
So what are we up to so far?
About 1,000.
Yep.
All right.
Okay, highway report. Danny's not on, I don't think, or is he?
No, he's not. They finished Record Road, and they are doing Putnam Forest. They just started Putnam Forest. This is on the hydrologically connected roads under the grants. Those both of those portions have to be done by June 30th, so that we can get paid on them. They have not yet extended that time. So they finished Record except for spreading the straw on the disturbed area, and they moved the excavator to Putnam Forest Road to work over there. If there's no questions on that, if there are, go ahead.
It looks to me like we're not going to get a grant for the culvert at this time. If we do, it's going to be later. So we're going to have to use the money from the capital budget.
Well, let's make sure you're clear on that. We get 110,000 we got.
Right.
The 164, 110 from VTrans. They are not granting they are withholding approval of any of our applications that were put in last year, which would include the 60,000. It'll be less than 60,000, about 40,000 for the Hinklewood culvert for that other portion of it, and our request for hydrologically connected roads, which is another 20,000. So there's 2 grants that are not there, but we have, in addition to the 20,000 that we're doing on Putnam and Record, we have another 20,000 on the grants and aid grant that will be used by the highway this year.
I'm just referring to the one that picks up the balance of the culvert.
Yeah, we're not. That one is on hold. We still might get it.
Better road. Yeah, but I don't think you're going to get it for quite a while if you do. So that you should be aware that you're going to have to take it out of the capital budget.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, that was never if I remember correctly, that was never a given, was it?
No.
That was
we haven't got one of those grants. We have not got one of those 60,000 trust year grants since that program started. We apply every year for the larger grant. We don't get it. We didn't get it for Chester Road, and the likelihood of us getting is not very good anyway. But we did not get it. I just put it in hopes that we could cover the gap.
Your plan is to get the 110,000, you said?
We will get the 110,000.
Okay,
that
so
is
we
committed.
put into the capital budget the rest of the money to do that culvert. So it's in the budget over and above the 110.
Correct, yeah.
Yeah, and if we get to 60,000, then that's a gift.
Yes.
I have a question of Danny. Is the road still posted? Because the signs are still up.
I think he means to take them down, Joe.
Okay, I just, they were still up, and I didn't know whether or not he didn't unpost the roads or the roads are unposted yet. You might want to remind him.
Yep. Okay. And also, somebody wants in. Wait a second. Also,
Dottie.
on the paving. The paving bid is out, and it'll come back for you to open on June 1st.
Do we have anything on the highways? If not, town clerk, the clerk and treasurer's report. Kim, you ready for that?
Yes. Several things. I gave you what the legislature passed on Friday about giving the ability to the select board to waive any interest or penalties on our tax or move tax payments if need be. I think we're doing pretty good financially. I haven't heard a whole lot from the public of having any type of difficulties paying. I'm sure there are some out there maybe not coming forward. But talking about the 8%, and we're going to have to move on in the next day or two and actually apply that. And I kind of wanted the board's feeling. I wanted to make sure you knew that you had the ability. Now we don't have to go through the Board of Abatement. Talking with Michelle, and she can chime in since she is our delinquent tax collector on the 8%. We do have probably $69,000 that's still outstanding. I do anticipate some more payments coming in. Probably 37,000 of that is something that I've seen them on a late delinquency before for a short period of time, so they could possibly be a repetitive. So I don't anticipate getting 37,000 from these people in the next day or two anyways. So taking into consideration all of that, I think Michelle and I talked about it, and we should still stick to our 8%. I have not heard anybody from the public come forward that they're having any type of difficulties yet. Everybody else paid on time. We're looking at probably the total penalty that if we were to waive it would be forfeiting about $6,500. That goes to our delinquent tax collector. As of right now, our delinquent tax collector is my assistant, who typically is in my office twice a week at least. Now she's down to like 3 hours a week on a Sunday. So it would be taken away from her, which that is part of her income now. Total interest, if you were to waive the interest again, you're probably looking at $700 worth of 1% interest. I didn't calculate the 1.5% interest that we would also forfeit as a town if you were to waive the interest. We did waive for February, we did waive for March. We wait for March and April, so we're due for May, and then the penalty. I don't know what the board's feeling is on this, but I'm ready to move forward and just go ahead and apply the 1 and the 1.5 and the 8%.
How far back does that 69,000 go, Kim, as far as a date?
This is this year.
That's just this year.
Yes, that's just this year, this tax year. And I didn't break it down as to how many of those actually are due for all 4 quarters. That's another, I haven't really had time. I'm only one person here lately. But some of those there's 18 that I've seen before on a delinquencies. And of those 18, there is a handful that have been delinquent for all 4 quarters. There are some that are just this last quarter. So yeah, that 69 takes in people that have all 4 quarters. Some of them have just 1 quarter, which is this last one. I did not break that down.
So the
Kim,
last,
didn't you tell me this morning that that the majority of the delinquents are the same ones that are delinquent every year?
I come up with probably 30 payments that are unusual. Okay, so I have not seen a payment yet, but I anticipate it at any time. I have 18 that I have seen in the past on the delinquency list. They may be on it for a couple months, they may be on it for half the year, but they have been on a delinquency in the past. So we've got probably 48 payments, and 18 of them have been repetitives in the past. Probably would be again anyways. Then you've got the 30 that are ones I have not usually seen, but it could be because they're late or, you know, something of the effect. So I don't know. Anybody else having an opinion? Otherwise, we can move forward, and I will apply starting tomorrow, because I'll probably give it one more day for postmarked, but I think I've gotten most of all my postmarks, because now I'm starting to get the postmark is 16th and the 18th. So, Michelle, do you have anything to say? I'm gonna put her on the spot.
Good.
You don't want to put you on the spot, but it is yours. Any feelings out there, guys?
I think that unless you have, you know, unless it's related to the virus thing that we're currently, you know, the pandemic thing, I think we got to go back to the 8% on the chronic late payment.
The other thing Michelle and I did talk about, which can keep in the back of the mind, make you feel better, that if we do, when I do apply the 1 and the 1.5 and then the 8% penalty, there's always the option, and we do have to send that out to them after the 8% is applied, that they can come to the Board of Abatement and they can grieve, not grieve, but they can rely on hardship. You know, they can state their case as a hardship and then come before us at that time and tell us. And then we can deal with it that way. And that's when we can, you know, look at each situation individually if they were to come forward. So that is in the back, you know, make us feel better that, you know, you can still come forward. But for now, I think maybe we need to move forward and just get back to the norm, whatever that is.
So, Kim, just to be clear for me, that the 8% and also the 1%, that is based on the quarterlies or the end of the year?
End of the year is the 8%.
Okay.
The 1% is also end of the year, but it depends on if they've paid their first, second, third, or fourth quarter. Fourth quarters are at 1%. 1, 2, and 3 quarters would be 1.5% if they have not paid, and that stays with the town. The 8% moves on to the delinquent tax collector.
So if they pay their total tax at the end of the year, they're good to go.
At the end, like it should have been Friday.
Payment. If they pay everything on their 4th payment, then they're clear of any penalty.
Well, they would have been. If I haven't seen it now, then they're not. Okay. Because by tomorrow, I'll then incorporate the 8%, and they owe the 8, and then they owe the interest.
Well, they're past the payment.
They're delinquent. Yeah.
Kim, are you looking for a motion or just a direction or?
No, you don't need a motion. You need a motion to delay the penalty. You don't need a motion. That's the law. That's where.
Right, because we had you had made the motion to delay for April and for March and April.